The sky was a bruised shade of gray when the first warning sounded. It wasn't an air raid siren or the dramatic flash of breaking news across every television screen, it was quieter, almost too quiet. A whispered alert in the corridors of power, a classified message received at 3 a.m., and the nervous glance of a young technician staring at a screen that suddenly showed numbers that should never exist. Somewhere deep underground, in a control room lit by fluorescent lights, the possibility of a nuclear disaster had become more than a theory, it had become a ticking question of when, not if. Anthony Scaramucci had spent his life around politics and power, but nothing had prepared him for the weight of this moment. He wasn't in the Situation Room or sitting in a government office, he was at home, lying awake in the dark, staring at his phone as message after message poured in. A friend inside Washington had sent the first warning. A reactor malfunction overseas, reports of miscommunication, and the terrifying reality that a chain of mistakes might spiral into catastrophe. What haunted him wasn't just the science of nuclear fallout, it was the human element. Fear. Pride. Misjudgment. He had seen it before, in business, in politics, in life. But here, mistakes wouldn't just cost money or careers. They could cost millions of lives. At the same time, on the opposite side of the country, T.J. Newman was awake too, not because of insider warnings, but because she couldn't sleep. A former flight attendant turned author, she had always been fascinated by how ordinary people react in moments of extraordinary danger. She was drafting a scene for a new book, a story about a nuclear threat, when she stumbled upon a news report. The malfunction wasn't fiction anymore. Her fingers froze above the keyboard. She thought of passengers on a plane, mothers tucking their children into bed, fathers waking early for work, all of them unaware of what might be coming. For her, the horror wasn't just the technology, it was imagining the human faces behind the statistics. The story of this near disaster unfolded like a slow-motion car crash. Scientists debated whether the reactor could stabilize. Governments pointed fingers instead of joining hands. Markets wavered, panic spread quietly online, and for a moment the world seemed to hold its breath. Anthony and T.J., though from different worlds, found themselves pulled together into the conversation. A mutual friend connected them for a public discussion, part podcast, part therapy session, because people needed voices willing to strip away jargon and politics and talk about what this really meant. When the cameras turned on, Anthony's first words cut through the fog. This isn't just about technology. It's about humility. The greatest danger isn't the reactor, it's human arrogance. He spoke with the sharpness of someone who had lived inside the machinery of ambition. He admitted the flaws of leaders who ignored warnings, of